Why does life hurt even when we try our absolute best? Why does it feel like the harder you try to hold everything together, the faster it slips through your fingers? And why does pain seem to strike hardest when you're already exhausted? Life has a way of hitting people who are already carrying too much. And if you're here, you probably know exactly what that feels like. The moments when you lie awake staring at the ceiling, when everything feels heavier than it should, when you start wondering if you're losing control of your own mind. But there's a Stoic truth that can change everything. Pain is inevitable. Losing control is optional. The ancient Stoics understood something we often forget. You can't always stop life from hurting, but you can decide what that hurt turns you into. In this video, we'll walk through 7 Stoic rules that can help you regain clarity, rebuild inner strength, and steady your mind even in your darkest seasons. If this message resonates with you already, take a moment to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more Stoic guidance. Rule 1. Accept pain without letting it define you. Pain feels personal because your mind tells you it means something about you. But pain is not identity, it's information. When life hurts, most people don't respond to the pain itself. They respond to the story their mind attaches to it. Losing a job becomes, I'm a failure. Being betrayed becomes, I'm not worth staying for. A personal mistake becomes, I ruin everything. The modern world teaches us to internalize every wound, to turn every difficult moment into a permanent reflection of who we are. And once that story takes hold, the pain doesn't just hurt, it defines. It becomes a lens you view your entire life through. Stoicism offers a radical shift. Pain is not a verdict, it is a signal. It's your mind and body saying, something needs attention. Just as physical pain warns you to move your hand away from a flame, emotional pain points toward a place inside you that needs strengthening, clarity, or letting go. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a human being was built to endure, that you were shaped for resilience just as a soldier is shaped for battle. Pain, to the Stoic, isn't an accusation, it's training. Think about the moments that shook you. Losing a job doesn't actually mean you are unworthy. It means the environment you are in no longer fits who you're becoming. Being betrayed does not mean you're unlovable. It means someone chose their weakness over your value. Personal failures don't mean you're broken. They mean you've discovered a gap between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. Pain only becomes identity when you let the story linger longer than the lesson. The shift begins with a simple ritual. Name it, observe it, don't become it. Name it, I'm hurt, I'm scared, I'm disappointed. Putting words to pain separates you from the emotional fog. Observe it, notice the sensations, the thoughts, the reactions without trying to push them away. Become the witness, not the sufferer. Don't become it. Remind yourself that the emotion is temporary, the moment is temporary, and you are more than the thing you are feeling right now. When you stop letting pain dictate your identity, you reclaim control of your internal world. You begin to see pain as a visitor, not a permanent resident. And the moment you tell yourself, this is happening to me, but it is not who I am, you open the door to strength, clarity, and action. End this rule with one powerful affirmation. This hurts, but it does not control me. Rule 2. Control your interpretations, not the world. Most of the suffering you experience doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the story your mind tells about it. Your reactions are shaped far more by interpretation than by reality. This is one of the most important psychological truths the modern world constantly forgets. We live in a time where information is instant, attention is fractured, and emotions get triggered before logic even wakes up. A single notification, a strange tone in someone's voice, an unexpected silence. These tiny stimuli spark entire internal narratives. And before you even realize it, you're not reacting to the moment anymore. You're reacting to the movie in your head. Epictetus warned us centuries ago. People are disturbed not by things, but by their views of things. This isn't just ancient wisdom, it's neuroscience. Your brain is a prediction machine. It hates uncertainty, so it fills in the blanks using past wounds, insecurities, and assumptions. That is why a delayed text becomes rejection, a paused conversation becomes criticism, and a simple challenge becomes disaster. You aren't reacting to facts. You're reacting to fear. Take the classic example. Someone leaves your message on read. The fact is neutral. They haven't responded. But the interpretation? That person doesn't care. I did something wrong. They're losing interest. They're angry with me. None of these statements are proven. None are factual. But once the mind believes them, your body reacts with stress, anxiety, defensiveness, or sadness. Your heart races. Your stomach drops. Your thoughts spiral. Not because of what happened, but because of what you decided it meant. Stoicism teaches a different path, the path of returning to neutral facts. The Stoic mind pauses before letting the imagination run wild. It examines the emotion, questions its validity, and separates truth from projection. This is how you regain authority over your inner world. Use this three-step Stoic framework whenever you feel yourself spiraling. 1. Pause. Catch the emotion before it snowballs. Don't respond, don't assume, and don't let your imagination take the wheel. A single pause interrupts the entire chain reaction. 2. Question the story. Ask yourself, what do I know? What am I guessing? What else could be true? Challenging your narrative breaks the illusion of certainty. It removes the emotional fuel that misery feeds on. 3. Replace with truth. State the neutral fact plainly. They haven't replied yet. That's all I know. This mistake doesn't define me. This challenge is real, but the catastrophe is not. Truth shrinks anxiety. It brings you back to clarity and self-command. The power of this rule is transformative. You stop drowning in imagined disasters. Overthinking weakens because your mind no longer gets rewarded for exaggeration. You become more grounded, more rational, and more emotionally independent. Most importantly, you stop letting your brain sabotage your peace with stories it invented. You can't control the world. You can't control people. You can't control outcomes. But you can always control how you interpret what happens. And that is where your freedom begins. Anchor yourself in this affirmation. My interpretation is my power. Rule 3. Let go of what you cannot control. One of the deepest sources of human suffering is the constant attempt to control what was never meant to be in your hands. Nothing drains your spirit faster than trying to force outcomes, people, and circumstances that simply will not bend to your will. At the core of Stoicism lies one of the simplest and most liberating truths ever articulated: the dichotomy of control. It divides your life into two categories: the things you can control, your judgments, your choices, your actions, and the things you cannot control, outcomes, other people's behaviors, how the world responds. Everything peaceful in life comes from focusing on the first category. Everything painful comes from obsessing over the second. Modern life, however, conditions you to believe the opposite. You're told that you must influence what people think of you, predict how love will unfold, force success to happen, and manage every variable so nothing goes wrong. But what happens? The world does what it has always done. It moves independently of your expectations. People leave, no matter how much you love them. Co-workers talk behind your back, no matter how hard you try to be kind. Plans collapse, even when you've given more than you had. The more you cling, the more it slips away. Stoicism teaches that suffering increases in direct proportion to how tightly you grip something not meant to be held. Instead of flowing with reality, you fight it. Instead of choosing your response, you try to rewrite the world, and every time this fails, which it must, the crash hurts worse. Think of the moments that broke you. A partner choosing to walk away, a colleague spreading false rumors, a carefully constructed plan falling apart. These moments feel devastating not only because they hurt, but because you believed you could prevent them. You believed your effort guaranteed a result. Stoics understood long ago that this belief is the seed of heartbreak. Your power lies in intention, not in outcome. To reclaim your peace, practice the two-column exercise. A simple but profound tool. On the left, write everything in your control. My effort, my honesty, my boundaries, my attitude, my reaction. On the right, list what is not in your control. Their feelings, their choices, their loyalty, the outcome, the timing, the past. Then look at the right column and make a conscious decision to release it. Not ignore it, not pretend it doesn't matter. Simply accept that it is outside your command. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means refusing to suffer for something you cannot change. When you stop gripping what isn't yours, your life becomes lighter. Expectations soften, anxiety fades, freedom expands. You begin to act from clarity rather than desperation. You stop negotiating with reality and start cooperating with it. And the energy you once wasted on controlling the uncontrollable becomes energy you can finally invest into what is yours, your strength, your growth, your choices, your character. Nothing frees the mind faster than letting go of what was never meant to be yours. Affirm this truth as you move forward. I release what was never mine. Rule 4. Use adversity as training. Every hardship you face is either the weight that breaks you or the weight that builds you, and the choice is always yours. Seneca understood this deeply when he wrote that difficulty is nothing more than training. Pain feels like punishment when it first arrives, but to the Stoic, adversity is a deliberate classroom. It is the arena where your mind is sharpened, your character is shaped, and your resilience is strengthened. When life hurts, your mind immediately stands at a crossroads. Collapse into self-pity or rise into self-mastery. One path shrinks you, the other enlarges you. Pain doesn't decide which path you take. You do. Think about heartbreak. Most people let the wound define their worth. But a Stoic asks, what did this teach me about boundaries? About choosing better? About loving without losing myself? Suddenly, the pain becomes a teacher, not a jailer. Or consider failure. Losing a job, a project falling apart, a dream slipping out of reach. Many treat failure as final, but the Stoic reframes failure as a structure, a place to rebuild discipline, tighten focus, clarify purpose, and strengthen the habits that success requires. The event hurts, yes, but it also reveals exactly where the weaknesses lie. Adversity exposes what comfort hides. Why does adversity build resilience so effectively? Both philosophy and science offer the same answer. Stress, when engaged with intentionally, makes you stronger. Just as the body needs resistance to grow muscle, the mind needs challenge to grow endurance and emotional stability. Controlled stress, like the stress of a cold shower, a difficult conversation, or confronting uncomfortable truths, triggers a process called adaptive growth. Your nervous system becomes less reactive. Your emotional tolerance increases. You become harder to shake, harder to overwhelm, harder to break. But this only happens when you face adversity consciously, not when you avoid it or collapse under it. Stoicism teaches that the goal is not to seek pain, but to use pain when it arrives. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this training me for?" Instead of resenting the difficulty, Recognize that life is giving you a chance to strengthen a part of yourself you will need later. One practical Stoic exercise is the daily hard thing. Each day, choose one small challenge to face deliberately. Take a cold shower, have the uncomfortable conversation, wake up earlier than you want, say no when you usually cave. Sit quietly with your emotions instead of escaping into distractions. These micro-adversities build resilience in the same way lifting a small weight every day eventually makes you strong enough to lift a heavy one. You become calibrated to discomfort, no longer shocked by it, no longer controlled by fear of it. Adversity does not arrive to destroy you. It arrives to prepare you, to discipline your mind, to expose your strength, to make you capable of carrying a future you cannot yet see. Repeat this to yourself as a reminder of your power. Pain is the gym where my mind trains. Rule 5. Simplify your life. When everything hurts, when life becomes heavy, the mind doesn't break because of one big problem. It breaks because of 1,000 small ones piling up with no space to breathe. High stress overwhelms the brain, and an overloaded brain turns even small emotions into explosions. When everything hurts, the world feels louder, faster, and more demanding than ever. Your thoughts scatter, your patience thins, your capacity shrinks. This happens because the mind under strain loses its ability to filter what matters from what doesn't. Every message feels urgent. Every inconvenience feels catastrophic. Every task feels impossible. The Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Overstimulation destroys inner peace. Marcus Aurelius warned himself repeatedly to remove unnecessary tasks, to strip life down to what is essential, because clarity cannot survive in chaos. Simplification is not laziness. It is strategy. When your emotional system is overloaded, the smartest thing you can do is reduce the number of inputs demanding your attention. Pain feels sharper when everything around you is cluttered. Cluttered schedules, cluttered commitments, cluttered environments, cluttered relationships, cluttered expectations. The modern world has conditioned us to multitask, overextend, and carry far more than the human mind was built to manage. The Stoic response is the opposite. Do less, but do it with full presence and integrity. Think of your environment. A messy room amplifies mental noise. A chaotic workspace fuels anxiety. Physical clutter sends a constant stream of signals to your brain. Unfinished tasks, unresolved decisions, potential threats. Cleaning your space is not about aesthetics. It's about reclaiming cognitive bandwidth. Even 10 minutes of organizing can feel like exhaling after holding your breath all day. Think of your relationships. When life hurts, you do not have the capacity for people who drain you, confuse you, or demand emotional labor you cannot give. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means temporarily reducing access. Pull away from the non-stop texter who always wants something. Limit time with the friend who only complains. Protect your energy from the person who calls you only when they need rescuing. Simplifying your social world is an act of emotional survival. Think of your expectations. Multitasking during emotional pain is a guaranteed path to burnout. Instead of juggling 10 responsibilities, choose one. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, fix something small today and something else tomorrow. Lower the bar, not your standards. You can produce quality even when quantity is reduced. The Stoic approach is to focus on the smallest controllable unit of the present moment. A practical method to reclaim clarity is the Stoic exercise. Remove 3 things causing unnecessary pain. 3 tasks you can postpone. 3 obligations you can say no to. 3 people you can set boundaries with. 3 expectations you can loosen. 3 possessions you can let go of. In a world obsessed with adding, healing often begins with subtracting. Simplification gives your nervous system room to recalibrate. It reduces overwhelm. It restores emotional stability It frees you to focus on what actually matters: your values, your healing, your peace. Repeat this affirmation whenever life feels too loud. Less noise, more clarity. Rule 6. Act according to your values, not your feelings. When you're hurting, your emotions become loud, impulsive, and persuasive. But they are also unreliable guides. Pain pushes you toward reactions that feel justified in the moment, but damage your long-term peace. When emotions take over and logic narrows, you say things you don't mean. You make decisions you later regret. You isolate yourself when connection would help, or you lash out when calm would serve you better. Pain has a way of convincing you that the fastest reaction is the right reaction. But the Stoics believe the exact opposite. The right reaction is the one chosen from your values, not from your emotional turbulence. The Stoic path is anchored in virtue, not impulse. 4 virtues guide every action. Wisdom, seeing clearly, not through the distortion of emotion. Courage, doing what is right even when fear, shame, or hurt beg you to retreat. Justice, acting fairly, even when you feel wronged. Temperance, moderating your impulses so your short-term emotions don't sabotage your long-term integrity. Acting from virtue means becoming the kind of person you respect, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Consider conflict. When someone hurts you, the emotional mind wants retaliation. Sharp words, cold silence, passive-aggressive punishment. But a value-driven response looks different. Wisdom asks, what is actually happening, and what outcome do I want? Temperance says, pause before reacting. Justice says, respond in a way that maintains your integrity. Courage says, don't let fear of discomfort stop you from being honest, calm, and clear. This doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you don't abandon your principles just because you're in pain. Think of commitments. When your emotions are low, motivation disappears. You feel like canceling plans, skipping responsibilities, giving up on goals, or breaking promises. But your values hold you steady. You keep the promise because your integrity matters more than the mood of the moment. You honor your responsibilities because you refuse to let temporary emotions define your character. You continue the work because discipline builds the version of you that pain cannot destabilize. The practical tool for this rule is the Stoic pause, a method that interrupts emotional impulsivity and realigns you with your values. Stop. Before reacting, take a breath and step back internally. Ask, what would my best self do right now? This question shifts perspective instantly. It forces you to rise above the emotional fog and look at the situation through the lens of your ideal character. Act. Choose the response that reflects your values, not your pain. Even if the feeling tries to pull you elsewhere, anchor yourself in who you want to be. When you consistently act according to your values, something powerful happens. Your self-respect grows. You begin trusting yourself again. You feel in control, not because life stops hurting, but because you stopped letting emotions dictate your behavior. And that sense of self-command is one of the strongest drugs against chaos and despair. Pain will always speak first. Values must speak last. Affirm this truth. My values lead. My feelings follow. Rule 7. Remember that this moment is temporary. Pain feels permanent only because you're standing too close to it. Every hardship looks endless when you're trapped inside the moment, but Stoicism teaches a simple, liberating truth. Nothing you feel right now is forever. Impermanence is one of the deepest Stoic principles. Everything changes, everything fades, everything moves. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that life is a series of passing impressions, and emotional suffering is no exception. Yet when life hurts, the mind plays a cruel trick. It convinces you that the pain will never end, that the sadness will stretch into the future, that the stress will never loosen its grip, that the heartbreak will echo indefinitely. You start to imagine a future shaped entirely by the misery of the present moment. But this is an illusion, a distortion created by emotion, not reality. Think about the moments you once believed would destroy you. A loss that shattered your heart, a disappointment that made you question everything, a season of stress that felt like drowning. At the time, each of those moments felt permanent. Yet here you are. You survived them. Some of them you barely remember now. Others became turning points. What felt unbearable then eventually became manageable, and what felt impossible became just another chapter in a much bigger story. Consider life's most common storms: the loss of someone you love, a wound that empties your world and rearranges your soul, the collapse of a relationship, leaving a silence that feels too big to live inside. Work stress so heavy it steals your sleep and your sense of direction. A failure that makes you fear you'll never rise again. Each of these moments floods the mind with the belief that this is how it will always be. But feelings are terrible prophets. They can only speak from the intensity of the present, not the truth of the future. Stoicism teaches you to widen your perspective, to zoom out from the immediacy of pain and see time as a healer, a mover, a dissolver. One powerful practice is the look 5 years ahead exercise. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? How will I remember this season from the future? What strength, perspective, or clarity might come from enduring this? Most of the time, the emotional fog clears as soon as you imagine your future self. You begin to see that what feels like a wall right now is only a doorway you haven't walked through yet. Remember, your mind can survive much more than your emotions predict. You are not trapped. You are simply passing through a difficult corridor. The moment you accept impermanence, the pressure softens. The intensity loses its grip. You stop resisting pain and start moving with it, which paradoxically helps you move through it faster. No feeling stays, no season lasts, no pain remains unchanged. Anchor yourself in this truth whenever the weight feels unbearable. This pain is passing through me, not staying with me. You have just walked through 7 Stoic rules that can steady your mind when life hurts. Refusing to let pain define you. Controlling your interpretations instead of the world. Releasing what you were never meant to control. Using adversity as training. Simplifying your life to regain clarity. Acting from your values rather than your emotions. And remembering that every painful moment is temporary. Each of these principles becomes powerful only when practiced, not merely understood. So choose one rule, just one, and apply it today. Small, consistent action transforms your mindset far more effectively than consuming endless knowledge. Thank you for spending your time and your attention here. It means more than you know. The very fact that you watched this far is proof that you're stronger than your circumstances and capable of reshaping the way you move through the world. Your mind is not broken. It's becoming stronger. I hope you'll return for the next video as we continue this journey of building an unshakable mind through Stoic philosophy. Until then, take a breath, take one step forward, and remember, you already have everything you need inside you.